Hi, my name is Juliana Dempsey. I am a member of the SSD District-Wide Educator Evaluation System Committee. This short video will walk you through how you can complete your student growth plan in TalentEd. What I have is a document on my screen that will look very similar to what you will see in TalentEd. So I'll just walk you through the steps. I've already got it completed, but I'll show you exactly how I did it. When you open it up, the first thing you're going to see is the learning requirement here. So basically, you need to tell what is the IEP goal, the learning standard, what standard is being assessed for kids. What is it we want them to know and be able to do by the end of the year? You don't have to do both of these, but I put them in just as an example. The IEP goal that I selected here was by February, after reading a grade level story with visual supports, students will be able to demonstrate increased reading comprehension. And then it's got a lot more indicators there about what that might look like. The Missouri Learning Standard that is aligned with would be to develop and demonstrate reading skills in response to text by monitoring comprehension and making connections and adjustments when understanding breakdowns. After I have established the requirement, then I'm going to move on to the plan. The plan is basically a SMART goal and gives all the logistical details. So my goal is by February of 2018, 100% of students will demonstrate increased reading comprehension skills as measured by teacher-charted records. Now, I chose February 8, 2018 for a very specific purpose, not just because it aligns up here to the IEP goal, but because we need to have the results of your student growth plan prior to your annual performance review. So if you're a probationary teacher, you'll want to know the results prior to March 1st when your annual performance review is due. And if you're tenured, you'll need to know the results prior to May 1st, which is when your annual performance review is due. That being said, your interval of instruction does not have to be the whole year. It might be for the duration of a unit, or it might be for 3 or 4 weeks. It just depends on what you're teaching. For example, if I'm a high school teacher, I might have a class that is only a semester long. And so my growth plan might not start until January if I decide to do it for second semester. It's very tailored to whatever you're teaching and what might make sense for you. Under student population, I'm going to put the number of students included in this goal. So it's not all the kids on my caseload or all the kids that I'm teaching. It's all the kids to whom this goal applies. If I'm an elementary teacher, for example, I might have 2 reading groups throughout the day, one with 4 students and one with 6 students, but they're all working on reading comprehension. So I'm going to put my population at 10. My start date is October 1st. My end date is February 28th. The assessment, it gives you several examples here that you can choose from. I just selected 3. I'm going to use IEP goal data. I'm going to use CLS data or Classroom Learning System data from student data binders. And I'm going to use some progress monitoring data. Then I'm going to move on to the do. These are instructional strategies. You might want to tie these strategies to the same strategies that you used in your educator growth plan, but you don't have to. I selected 2 here. The first one is Marzano's, which has to do with breaks in presentation of content. I'm going to engage my kids in summarizing, predicting, and questioning in order to process their new information. And then I did select one that I may have put on my educator growth plan, which is Name the Steps. So I'm going to take some complicated skills and break them down into smaller component tasks that build up their knowledge systematically. So far, it's pretty straightforward. When we get to the study, that's where we've noticed that a lot of people struggle a little more. We've given you the ability to differentiate the targets for your kids. So the first thing I'm going to do is give a baseline test to see exactly where my kiddos are currently. And when I did, 6 of my kids fell within the 40 to 50% accuracy range. So that's their baseline. That's where they're currently at. And I think that a reasonable goal for this group of kids would be to get somewhere between 70 and 80% accuracy. I have 2 kiddos who started out at between 30 and 40% accuracy, and I want them to jump to 60 to 70% accuracy. And I have 2 kids who started out between 0 and 10, and I'm going to try to jump them between 40 and 50% accuracy. This might be a little bit of a stretch goal, and yet, since I know these kids, I know that maybe on the day I gave the baseline, they were having an off day. So I think this is reasonable for them. I don't have that accounts for my 10 kids. I've got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that accounts for the 10 kids in my group. If I had other kids who were in different, for example, if I had some who started at 60 to 70, I might have another baseline. That is basically how you start it. You have the option to add up to 3 documents in Talent Ed as evidence, but you don't have to. Once you have completed all of these pieces, then you're going to say save and submit, and then you're going to work the plan. Be aware at the end of your growth plan when you review it, you're not going to have to give us these accuracy measures. You're basically just going to enter in Talent Ed the number of kids who met their goal. So if these 6 kids got somewhere between 70 and 80%, and these 2 were between 60 and 70, and these 2 were between 40 and 50, then when it asks you the question, how many students met the goal, your response would be 10. They all met the goal that was differentiated for them. I hope this has been helpful for you. If you have further questions, you can contact me via email, and that is jmdempsey, DEMPSEY, @ssdmo.org.